All right, welcome back. Or if this is your first time here, well then hey, you just skipped foreplay and jumped straight into part 3. Bold move. I like it. Now, quick reminder, this isn't just some random video you stumbled on at 3 in the morning while eating cereal straight out of the box. This is part of a full series on mental fitness. And trust me, mental fitness is just as sexy as physical fitness. Well, okay, maybe not as sexy as abs, but close. So here's how it works. Each episode builds on the last. Part 1, we talked about building mental discipline, basically, how to stop giving in to the little gremlin in your brain that says, let's just stay in bed. Then part 2, we broke down plateaus, because nothing kills motivation faster than working your butt off and seeing your progress flatline harder than my dating life. And now here we are, part 3. This one's all about negative self-talk. You know that voice that says, I'm not good enough, I'll never change. Yeah, that one. It's like having a toxic roommate living rent-free in your head. Only difference, you can actually kick this one out. But don't worry, this isn't gonna be some corny. Just think positive and manifest a Lamborghini nonsense. Nah, we're gonna get real. We'll break down why your brain sometimes sabotages you, how to shut down those destructive thoughts, and how to build a voice in your head that actually hypes you up, like the world's cheapest personal trainer. So grab a coffee, or a protein shake, or hell, even that midnight cereal, because by the end of this episode, your inner voice is gonna sound a lot less like a hater and a lot more like a hype man at a concert. Let's get into it. You know what's funny? The biggest battles we fight usually aren't in the gym, or at work, or even with other people. They're in our own heads. Yeah, that sneaky little inner voice. That one that always seems to wake up before we do. And let's be real, it's not exactly the motivational type. It's more like the drunk uncle at a family barbecue, loud, annoying, and way too comfortable pointing out your flaws. Take the classic one, I'm not good enough. Ah yes, the greatest hits of self-doubt. This one usually shows up when you're comparing yourself to someone else, scrolling Instagram, watching someone crush a workout, or seeing a friend succeed. Suddenly, your brain decides you're not just behind, you're basically failing at life. The truth though, that's perfectionism in disguise. You set the bar so high, even pole vaulters would quit. And then there's its evil twin, I'll never change. Oof, that one hits different. That's not just doubt, that's fear of failure dressed up in a comfy little blanket of hopelessness. It's the mental version of throwing in the towel before the match even starts. Because if you know you'll never change, well hey, why even try, right? Safe excuse. Zero progress. But here's the kicker. These thoughts feel real, but they're not truth. They're just old recordings your brain keeps replaying, like some depressing Spotify playlist you never asked for. And the wild part, you can actually switch the track. See how that works? We catch the thought, we name it, and then we dig into where it's really coming from. Because once you know the source, self-doubt, perfectionism, fear, you stop treating it like gospel and start treating it like what it really is, just noise. And speaking of noise, in the next part we're going to talk about what that noise actually does to your performance and motivation. Because trust me, it's messing with you more than you think. But first, let's sit with this. If your inner voice sounds like a broken record, maybe it's time to change the DJ. So here's the thing. Negative self-talk doesn't just sit quietly in the back of your head like some moody teenager. Oh no, it gets loud, it gets bossy, and before you know it, it starts running the show. First stop, self-sabotage and procrastination. That little voice tells you, you're not ready, or you'll probably screw it up anyway. And suddenly, instead of doing the workout, writing the plan, or making the call, you're organizing your sock drawer at 2 p.m. Funny how we become productivity ninjas at literally everything except the thing we need to do. And when that becomes a pattern, guess what happens? Your confidence and focus take a nosedive. Because if you keep hearing, you're not good enough, eventually, you start believing it. And the moment you believe it, boom, your brain stops looking for solutions and starts looking for exits. Now, under stress, this gets even worse. Instead of digging deep and saying, I've got this, your inner voice whispers, nope, too hard, let's quit. And with every stressful moment, your resilience shrinks like, well, let's just say like a guy jumping into a cold swimming pool. And the final nail in the coffin? You give up early. Not because you couldn't do it, but because you convinced yourself you couldn't. That's the real danger here. Negative self-talk doesn't just kill momentum. It prevents momentum from even being born. But here's the twist, and this is the part one love. If your thoughts are powerful enough to hold you back, they're also powerful enough to push you forward. Which brings us to the good stuff. How to actually replace those destructive thoughts. Because you can't just mute them. You've got to give your brain a new script. And trust me, this is where things start getting fun. All right, so we've dragged negative self-talk into the spotlight. Now what do we actually do with it? Because let's be honest, you can't just tell your brain, hey, stop being mean to me. That never works. It's like telling a toddler to stop throwing spaghetti. It's only going to make the mess worse. The secret? Reframing. Think of reframing like switching the camera lens on your life. Same situation, different angle. Instead of, I'm not good enough, which is basically your inner critic acting like a troll in the YouTube comments, you shift it to, I'm still learning, and progress takes time. Boom. One statement closes the book on you, the other keeps the story going. And here's the thing, reframing doesn't mean lying to yourself. You don't have to wake up and shout, I am the greatest human alive, unless you're Muhammad Ali, in which case, carry on. Reframing is about being honest, but also being kinder. It's choosing the version of the truth that keeps you moving forward. Take another one. Instead of, I always fail at this, try, I haven't nailed it yet, but every attempt teaches me something. Notice that little word, yet. That word is magic. It turns a dead end into a detour. Now, reframing is powerful, but sometimes your brain is stubborn. It needs quick hits of positivity to balance out all that negativity. And that's where affirmations come in. Now don't roll your eyes. Affirmations get a bad rap because people picture chanting in front of a mirror like some kind of motivational cult. But that's not the vibe here. Think of affirmations as mental sticky notes. Short, sharp reminders that interrupt the negative playlist on loop. Like this one. I am capable of growth and improvement. Simple, clear, no fluff. Or progress, not perfection. These aren't just words. They're little anchors you throw down when your brain starts drifting into stormy waters. Here's the trick though. You can't just say it once and expect your brain to be like, ah yes, message received. I am now fully healed. Nah, it's like doing push-ups. One rep doesn't build muscle. Repetition does. You've got to practice until those affirmations feel less like a script and more like your actual inner voice. And here's a fun hack. Tie affirmations to triggers. Walking into the gym, drop one in your head. I show up, I get better. Struggling at work, remind yourself, I figure things out. Hell, even while brushing your teeth, you're already staring into the mirror. Might as well give yourself a pep talk. Over time, this does something wild. It rewires your mental default settings. Instead of your brain instantly going, you can't do this, it starts leaning toward, okay, this is tough, but you've got this. And when that shift happens, it doesn't just shut down the critic, it upgrades your whole mindset. Because here's the bigger picture. Replacing destructive thoughts isn't just about silencing the negativity. It's about building a voice that actually hypes you up. A voice that's on your team. A voice that keeps showing up even when things get hard. And that, my friend, is how you start building a resilient inner voice. One that not only survives the bad days, but makes you stronger because of them. All right, so now that we've started replacing destructive thoughts, it's time to level up, because a one-off pep talk isn't going to turn your brain into a motivational guru overnight. We're talking about building a resilient inner voice, the kind of voice that sticks with you, even when life decides to throw curveballs or dodgeballs, or, literal bricks. Step 1, practice daily affirmations. And no, I'm not just repeating myself. Daily practice is what transforms a statement from a fleeting thought into an instinctive response. Think of it like brushing your teeth, but for your mind. You don't skip brushing for one day and suddenly have perfect teeth. Same with affirmations. Do it consistently, and suddenly your brain starts defaulting to encouragement instead of critique. Step 2, Surround yourself with supportive influences. This isn't just about avoiding toxic people, though yes, that helps too. It's about actively choosing voices that lift you up. Friends, mentors, podcasts, even books that challenge you without crushing your confidence. Your brain is like a radio. If all you tune into is static, don't be surprised when all you hear is negative feedback. Step 3. Celebrate small wins. And I mean really celebrate them. Didn't miss a workout this week? Pat yourself on the back. Finish that project you were procrastinating on. Treat yourself. Maybe even dance like no one's watching, unless your cat is judging. Then keep it subtle. These little victories act like fuel for your inner voice, reinforcing the idea that any progress, is worth recognizing. And finally, step 4. Use mindfulness or journaling to catch negative thoughts early. Think of it as putting up early warning signs for your mental critic. You notice the thought creeping in. I can't do this, boom. Write it down, observe it, and consciously reframe it. Mindfulness and journaling aren't just trendy buzzwords. They're tools to intercept negativity before it snowballs into full-blown self-sabotage. Now, here's the beauty of this whole process. When you combine daily affirmations, supportive influences, small wins, and proactive mindfulness, you don't just quiet the inner critic. You train a new voice, a voice that reminds you of your capabilities, your progress, and yes, even the fact that messing up once doesn't make you a failure. That's resilience in action. And the best part, once your inner voice becomes this kind of ally, it starts influencing everything else. Your workouts, your work, your relationships. It's like having a personal hype squad living rent-free in your head. And honestly, who wouldn't want that? So, now that you've got all of this, all the tips on catching your negative self-talk, reframing it, building that resilient inner voice, here's the thing. Before I give you a suggestion that could honestly make your life way easier, I'd like to ask you for a little favor. If you could drop a comment, anything you want, just let me know you were here. It actually helps me a ton. Not just because it makes me feel like people are paying attention, but also because it pushes the channel closer to monetization. And that means I can keep making content like this. So guys out there, brothers like you, don't waste time trying to convince themselves that some shirtless idiot on TikTok knows the truth about fitness. Trust me, he doesn't. Alright, favor aside, here's my suggestion. Go watch the first video of the last series, Hard Truths of Fitness, EP1. The real reason you're not seeing gains. Seriously, it's packed with the stuff nobody wants to hear, but also the stuff you need to hear. And more importantly, it gives practical ways to actually win at each truth. Just to recap for a second in this series, we've been breaking down the mental side of fitness. Part 1, we talked about building mental discipline, why mindset is just as important as lifting heavy weights. Part 2, we looked at plateaus, why they happen, and how to push through them instead of quitting. And now, in Part 3, we've dug into negative self-talk, reframing thoughts, and building a resilient inner voice that actually has your back. And this is just the start. There's more coming. More series on topics like habit building, performance hacks, and mindset mastery. So if you're serious about leveling up, stick around, subscribe, and turn on notifications, because the journey doesn't stop here. But right now, if you really want to see some of the hard truths that explain why your gains might be stalled and practical ways to fix them, go check out that first video. I've put it on the right side of your screen. It's right there next to the other YouTube suggestions. Click it, watch it, and I promise you'll walk away with some real, actionable strategies. Alright, my brother, go crush it. Train smart, stay consistent, and as always, stay a chimp.